All right. Watch out, Marge. All right. This turtle is right on the borderline of being keeper. But I'll measure it, and me and Margie will measure it and see if it's a keeper or not. Ooh. Careful, Margie, these things are vicious. It ain't a box turtle. It's got to be 12 inches at this crotch right here to the top of the shell behind its neck. So this one makes the cut, so it's a keeper. All right, careful, Margie. It's not a box turtle. So there's a lot of misconceptions about snapping turtles, and a lot of people, they're really misunderstood. They don't really know much about them, and they just assume a lot. Many people think that snapping turtles live to be 100 years old, and it takes like 25 years for them to sexually mature. Now, snapping turtles only live tops 50 years. You know, you really don't see them getting much older than that. They're physically mature at 25 years, but they're not sexually mature at 25 years. If they're sexually mature a lot younger than that. It doesn't even go by age, actually. It goes by how many inches they get. That carapace, which is the top shell, from behind its head to that little V, has to be 8 inches for that turtle to be sexually mature. And that usually will take, if a little hatchling turtle lives in water, in a pond that's got lots of aquatic plants, a lot of vegetation, it's going to have a lot of food in it. It's going to have a lot of insects, which is the bottom of the food chain. Has a lot of insects. You're going to have a lot of fish, a lot of frogs, tadpoles, birds, wildlife. All that stuff is what that turtle is going to eat. So the more food that turtle has, the faster it's going to grow. That turtle is sexually mature at 8 inches. So it's going to take, usually in a good water like that, about 4 years. So she's laying eggs at 4 years old. She's not going to become 12 inches, which is a keeper, probably for another 6, 7, 8 years. So she's got a good stretch of, like, depends, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years before she can legally be caught, if she gets caught. Yeah, there's a big difference between being physically mature and sexually mature. For instance, I don't know, all you pedophiles out there probably understand. A human being isn't sexually mature until it's 12, 13 years old, because that's when she's having her period and she can produce. But she's not physically mature until she's about her mid-20s. So even though this turtle is not physically mature, it's sexually mature. So it's making babies way before it's even legal to take. For those of us who are normal, and for another example, a deer, a white-tailed deer. A white-tailed deer is mature at 4.5 years old, but he's sexually mature at 1.5 years. And a female white-tailed deer, she's sexually mature at 6 months. So same thing with the turtle, that they're still babies when they're 4 years old, 5 years old, but they're starting to lay eggs. So there's no need to worry about them, like, you're gonna over harvest them and they're not gonna produce any babies, and you'll eliminate the snapping turtles. There's seasons and bag limits and size limits just for that reason, to ensure that there'll always be snapping turtles around. So once a turtle becomes over 12 inches, that's a turtle that you really don't want in the water anyway. I mean, that's the turtle, if you want to have waterfowl production, if you want to have a lot of ducklings, even muskrats, and if you like gigging frogs and you want to see a lot of frogs, those big turtles, the ones that are 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds, you don't need them in the waters. These smaller ones that are like 12 inches and less, those are the turtles that are always gonna have your supply of turtles. They're the breeders. Those giants, sure, they breed, but they're the ones that are gonna kill your ducks, your geese, your goslings, your cygnets. They're the ones that are, wreaking havoc on the pond. It's just like alligators. Like the alligators that are in Florida. There's more alligators in Florida than ever before. But when they first opened up the hunting season for them, there was 11, 12, 13-foot alligators everywhere. But you don't see those giants anymore because of, you know, the past years of harvesting. But there's always 6, 7, 8 footers. And to be honest with you, I'd rather go, you know, swimming or kayaking in water that doesn't have 14, 13-foot alligators. 8 footers, I don't mind. But it's the same thing with these snapping turtles. You know, you could have these, you know, 10, 12-inch snapping turtles swimming around. Yeah, you'll have your ducklings and stuff. Yeah, one will disappear. But you know what? When you have a bunch of, you know, 16-inch turtles, you know, there goes your ducks. There goes your adult ducks. There goes your goslings and your cygnets and your mother ducks, and they put a hurting. You know, I was online and I was looking on Connecticut's website, and they have something about snapping turtles. And there's an article in there saying that there was a 1940 study that snapping turtles have no significant impact on waterfowl numbers. 1940, it's 2023. You know, a lot's changed in 83 years. So maybe back in 1940, you know, there was the Great Depression. So when you're riding on your horse on the dirt road and you see a snapping turtle walking across the road, you pulled over and grabbed it because you're going to have turtle soup. You know, turtles weren't a problem back then, but that's 83 years ago. I could think of 100 things that were problems then that aren't problems now, and problems now that weren't problems in 1940. So times changed, and they are a huge impact on waterfowl numbers. There's no shadow of a doubt, and you definitely have to curb the snapping turtle population if you want to see a high number of waterfowl. So take it from me, we're the #1 wood duck producers in the state, and it's all because thinning out these guys.